So the FBI was an unmitigated disaster in its investigation into the killer of Charlie Kirk, showing how unqualified and inexperienced Kash Patel has always been, which we have always been warning about, which anybody with a brain has been warning about as well. Kash Patel's FBI misidentified the killer multiple times. Kash Patel's FBI posted that they found the suspect and he was in custody when they actually had the wrong guy, an Arab Charlie Kirk supporter who they just basically racially profiled. Then they had to issue a retraction. Then the FBI and ATF put out statements basically suggesting that on the cartridges associated with the weapon, that it had transgender ideology inscribed on the cartridges. What the hell does that even mean? Transgender ideology. You then had Kash Patel at that press conference where they had not identified the killer, and Kash Patel looked so nervous. His head was jerking left to right. He didn't even say a word. I mean, he was too scared to speak. And then finally, Tyler Robinson, who is the alleged killer, confessed to his father after his father said, "Hey, that looks like you on the video. Did you do it, son?" The son said, "Yes, I did it." The dad then told his friends who were pastors. The pastors called the marshals and the police, and then they arrested Tyler Robinson. That's how it was uncovered. The FBI had nothing to do with it. Tyler Robinson confessed. The alleged suspect confessed to his dad, and his dad told someone, and they turned him in. It's basically what went down. But Kash Patel then gave this bizarre press conference where he was like, "And this is how you are a cop. Cops, this is what happens when you put policing first." Dude, what are you talking about? You just humiliated proud law enforcement by your behavior. You also showed what happens when you fire the experienced people at the FBI who filed a lawsuit against you, Kash Patel and the FBI this week. People like the former acting director of the FBI, Brian Driscoll. People like Stephen Jensen, one of the top people who dealt with counterterrorism there. Spencer Evans, a 20-year veteran. And you fired him because Donald Trump said he wanted retribution against the FBI. And this is also what happens when you fire the head of the Utah field office, a Pakistani American woman by the name of Mehtab Saeed, who ran counterterrorism for a long time in Washington, D.C. She was a Pakistani attaché at the American office there. After 9/11, she devoted her life to the FBI. And then you forced her out a few weeks back. That's what happens when you lose your field office chief as well, because he didn't want women and Pakistani women to be running the FBI office. Even though you, Kash Patel, are Hindu, you're racially profiling the Pakistani head of the field office. Okay, well, if you look back at Kash Patel's back, by the way, it's MeidasTouch, so we're going to come with all of the receipts here. But Kash Patel was a freaking podcaster. A bad one, too. A right-wing extremist, bad, cringy, Trump cultist podcaster. And this is the guy who leads the FBI? I mean, I'm going to be honest, I think I'm a pretty decent podcaster. I think that I bring receipts. I think I bring the skills that I had as a trial lawyer. I think I'm a good podcaster. Now, if a future Democratic president said, "Ben, I want you to serve your country, and I want you to be the FBI director," I would look at them and say, "Have you heard about the 25th Amendment? Because you must not be of sound mind if you want me to be an FBI director. I'm going to stay doing my podcast, go grab a coffee now and then, walk with my daughter up and down the block. I'm going to stay here, not become an FBI director, okay?" But Kash Patel would sell the shirts like this, based. He would sell based shirts. Or Kash Patel boasted about a dog urinating on political opponents in children's books. And he would sell those caps. K-Money H. That was his logo. K-Money H. That's what he called himself because his last name is Kash. Very creative. Trump's FBI director nominee at that time classified the dog peeing on political opponents as fun. Kash Patel would share videos launching United States senators' heads out of catapults and posing with the severed heads in his hands. Kash Patel would post AI-generated videos of himself chainsawing the heads off of members of Congress, political opponents, and media outlets. Kash Patel was selling magic pills, which would supposedly cleanse your body of the COVID vaccine to reverse the vax if you ever had one. A complete scam. He called it an mRNA detox that he sold for lots of money. He sold the $HTs for a limited time. He said, let's go, making some noise, wizards and warlock style, meme lord. And he would post meme lord photos of himself, and he would sell flags. Trumpomania flags are here, brother, at the K H star, y'all. That's what Kash Patel was doing before he was the FBI director. I mean, quite literally, if you put a list of people, you say, who would you not want to run the FBI? Kash Patel would just be right up there for me. But you know who's running counterterrorism, right, at the FBI right now? A 22-year-old former intern named Thomas Fugate III. I think he was like a gardener. He has zero law enforcement experience, and that's the guy who's in charge with one of the biggest positions in the FBI, a 22-year-old intern. It's like Donald Trump wants people to get hurt. Wouldn't you think that's the outcome here? So let's just go through some receipts, shall we? I mean, I showed you some of those receipts of Kash Patel's background as a weirdo right-wing podcaster. Well, here he was the other night at the press conference. This is the guy who's supposed to be in charge. Look how visibly nervous he is. Here, play this clip.
Sorry about that.
You know, hiring can take up so much time. I've spent hours waiting for the right candidates to apply, then sorting through endless resumes, and even when I finally find someone promising, it's a whole process just trying to get in touch. Well, the future of hiring looks much brighter because ZipRecruiter's latest tools and features help speed up finding the right people for your roles, so you can save valuable time. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Meidas. With ZipRecruiter's new advances, you can easily find and connect with qualified candidates in minutes. See a candidate you're really interested in? You can unlock their contact info instantly. And with over 320,000 new resumes added monthly, you'll reach more potential hires and fill roles sooner. It's no wonder ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2. Use ZipRecruiter and save time hiring. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And if you go to ZipRecruiter.com/Meidas right now, you can try it for free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/Meidas, MEIDAS. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Now, more information emerges about FBI Director Patel. Turns out he was at, am I saying this right? If I'm saying it wrong, my brother who loves this restaurant, is it Rayo's or is it Rouse? I think I'm going to go with Rayo's. And if I'm wrong, just you could put it in the comments and everybody to get mad at me. Rayo's or Rouse? Crap. Forget the pronunciation. Anyway, it's one of the hardest meal tickets to get. You can tell that I eat most of my meals as microwave stofers because I don't know how to say a basic name. The night that Kash Patel was posting that they found the guy who wasn't the guy. He was dining at one of the top restaurants, one of the hardest to eat at restaurants in Manhattan. FBI Director Kash Patel was dining at Rayo's in New York on Wednesday night after the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk. 2 sources familiar with his whereabouts told NBC News. Patel had posted on X at 6:21 p.m. Eastern Time that the subject in Kirk's killing was in custody. Rayo's is a well-known restaurant that is notoriously tough to get into. Opens at 7 p.m. Then at 7:59 p.m., Patel posted a follow-up post that the subject in custody has been released after an interrogation by law enforcement. The details come amid criticism from multiple former FBI officials of Patel's handling of the Kirk investigation. One law enforcement official said that the horrific event of Kirk's killing showcased Patel's public inability to meet the moment as a leader. In response to a question about whether Patel was at the restaurant when he posted about the investigation, as well as a request for comment about the criticism of the director, the FBI said in a statement that it worked with our law enforcement partners in Utah to bring justice to the individual allegedly responsible for the horrific murder of Charlie Kirk. We will continue to be transparent with the American people with real-time updates as we are available. Rayos, aroused, did not immediately provide a comment to NBC News. Now, Kash Patel, during that press conference after Tyler Robinson effectively turned himself in, and Patel and his FBI and local law enforcement really did nothing here. Again, I think local law enforcement was trying to do things, but Patel wasn't helping them out. Patel says, this is what happens when you let good cops be cops. Huh? Why don't you go back to Rayos? Here, play this clip.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops.
Then you have Patel saying, this arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement. Here, play this clip.
The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great, and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days.
Patel then goes, thanks to the full weight of the federal government, we got him. We got him. Here, play this clip.
In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency.
Dude, you did nothing. The kid just confessed. His photo was out there. He confessed. That's what happened. And then he has this really weird moment, this really strange moment where Patel looks into the camera and he goes, to my brother, Charlie Kirk, I see you, and I'll see you in Valhalla. Play this clip.
Lastly, to my friend, Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
See you in Valhalla? I mean, also, it's like, you're in Utah where there are Mormons. Charlie Kirk is a Protestant. You're Hindu. It doesn't mean you can't say Valhalla. It doesn't mean you can't say it. I can't even say it. But it does mean, what are you talking about? Like, what that's your line? I mean, it's a bit ridiculous. Again, as I mentioned, there was the lawsuit filed by the FBI agents against Patel this week. Brian Driscoll, Stephen Jensen, Spencer Evans. They said that Kash Patel basically admitted that he was firing the top people like them as retribution for Donald Trump. Patel said he would lose his job if he didn't fire all the top people because Trump wanted all the top people who were working there to be fired. By the way, the Wall Street Journal had to issue a retraction about its story that the cartridges had the it had the trans ideology, the pro-trans ideology on them, whatever the hell that means. But folks, I mean, this follows all of the Kash Patel kind of missteps along the way, right? Kash Patel saying regarding the Epstein files, I'm not going to withhold information, as you're literally withholding the Epstein files. Here, play this clip.
The other thing on the internet is the Epstein files. What's the answer to that?
The answer to that is the same as everything else. I'm not going to withhold information from the American public ever, but I'm also not going to rush to get it out there in a format in which they can't rely on it. So on the Epstein matter or any other matters, we are diligently working on that. And it takes time to go through years of investigations, years of political maneuvering, and years of cover-up to get the American people what they deserve. And that's what I'm going to give them on everything.
And then remember Kash Patel during a hearing just started yelling at Democratic Senator Patty Murray. Here, play this clip.
Placed on leave FBI employees responsible for the investigation of January 6th. That sounds political to me.
I have not placed anyone on leave who has not violated their ethical obligation or their oath to the Constitution.
So if they were investigating January 6th, you believe they were violating an ethical obligation?
Nope. I think the common theme here is you putting words in my mouth, and I'm not going to tolerate it, nor will the men and women of the FBI.
Well, you did place on leave an analyst responsible for investigating Russia's meddling in the 2016 election. Is that politicization? Is that retribution?
No, not if she broke the law or the ethical guidelines. I don't know which case you're talking about, but that's the standard. And we will hold ourselves inwardly accountable, and we will not be strayed from our mission because people think we are politicizing the Bureau. If you want to talk about someone who was attacked by a weaponized Bureau, you're looking at him. And now he's the director of the FBI and he's cleaning it up.
Again, the guy doesn't have the temperament. He's not fit for this position. This is a serious role. And he's a very deeply unserious person, right? I mean, he's the guy who once suggested that people in government all have to agree with Donald Trump or they should be thrown in jail. Here, play this clip.
It's pretty simple, Steve. One, we got to win again in 22 and 24. And then personnel, is policy. And not just at the principal level. You got to go down 2, 3, 4 levels down. The undersecretaries, the assistant secretaries, the deputies, the chiefs of staff. They all have to be people who agree with the commander in chief and don't believe that they can overcome a commander in chief just because they think they are saving America. That's not how the chain of command works. It didn't work like that when you were in the Navy, and it hasn't changed. And so we need to implement personnel across the board that follows the commander-in-chief's process and policies. And that's the democratic process. And anyone violating that should be thrown out of government and maybe even put in jail. But we need a strong Department of Justice to do that.
So, yes, as our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, says, maybe putting a podcaster and a Mar-a-Lago groupie in charge of the FBI was not the best plan. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.